Hi everyone, I'm Veronica, a current Master of Commerce student at the University of Sydney Business School. I'm here right now in the Abercrombie building, home to most of our on-campus classes. I'm studying the Master of Commerce program because I'm passionate about innovative logistics solutions, and this course offered the perfect way to learn more deeply about the basics of business while also learning about global logistics. The highlights so far have been the Industry Placement Program, where I'm currently working at Transdev Australasia, a public transport firm. Please leave any questions you have in the comments. We're really excited to have you here today, and we'll see you upstairs with our panel. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. For anyone who's just tuning in, we're talking a bit about the Master of Commerce program and specifically about three of our specializations: digital business, global logistics, and strategy, innovation, and management. First off, I'd like to introduce Na Liu, who will be talking a bit about the digital business specialization.
Thank you, Veronica. Hello, everyone. I'm Na, the program coordinator for digital business specialization. Today, I'd just like to share a bit more about our newly revamped curriculum that related to digital business specialization. So basically, you'll be able to learn everything, how the business operates in a digital world, because we know that everything is now digital. Our newly revamped curriculum also offers students a very broad career pathways, including becoming an enterprise architect or become a business analyst or IT consultant. Through this specialization, you will have the opportunity to learn some practical skills such as using SAP or Tableau, and you will also gain some better understanding about the business process management and how the technology play an important role in creating new business models, transforming business operations, and also helping the companies, organizations to create more competitive advantages.
Okay. Thanks very much, Na. So I'm going to talk, hi, my name is Andrew Collins, and I'm going to talk about the global logistics specialisation in the Master of Commerce. So first of all, what is global logistics? It involves the sourcing, production and distributions of goods at an international and national level, and it includes functions such as supplier selection and management, production planning, inventory management, freight management, supply chain network design, supply chain risk management, and many other sort of functional areas. So why should you study global logistics? It is an area that creates clear value for a business. It's an exciting area that is constantly changing. So we have new business models, new technologies coming online which can support the logistics function. And I think that the COVID pandemic has really shown just how important supply chains are and how important it is that we ensure that logistics operations and supply chains are resilient to the kinds of threats and challenges that we face. So I want to step through some of the units that we have in this specialisation. I teach the foundation unit, which introduces you to some core concepts and principles that underline global logistics. And then we have two core units which you take in the specialisation. Global distribution strategy, which equips you with strategic tools for profitable international logistics operations. And so it includes the development of competitive strategies, business model design, revenue and cost management, and many other types of topics. So essentially in this unit and in specialisation more generally, we want to prepare you for a future trajectory, if you wish, of sort of a senior management position. The other core topic is sustainable logistics and procurement. So this takes a very strategic perspective on the procurement function. So it has a wide range of considerations, including total life cycle costs and social and environmental risks involved with procurement. And a really exciting part of this unit is that it involves practicing negotiation in industry workshops. So that negotiation skill is a key skill in procurement, and you get to practice those in a very realistic way. Then on to the elective units. A really topical and exciting unit is managing supply chain disruption. So I talked about how the impact that the pandemic has had on supply chains, but there are many other sources of potential disruption which we have seen in recent years. So including natural disasters and cybersecurity threats and so on. So it's really important that when we design our supply chains and our logistics operations, that we do so in a way that they are resilient to these kinds of threats. This unit will be particularly useful for roles that include strategic planning and sort of managerial roles. The other really exciting elective unit that we have is logistics in future cities. So this involves city logistics, last mile logistics, so the movement of goods over the final sort of stage of distribution to the customer, and also the reverse logistics function, which basically involves moving goods back through the supply chain as well. And so there are a lot of challenges in this area because moving goods through congested city areas. And the unit serves as a nice complement to the global distribution strategy unit. So it sort of provides the local kind of counterpart to that global focus in that other unit. So there's been a lot of developments in this area, new business models, new technologies coming online, opportunities for droids and drones, for example, and also a lot of startup activity. So if that's sort of where you want to be in industry, at that sort of cutting edge of industry, then this unit would really prepare you well for that kind of focus once you go out into the workforce. And then we have two analytic units that are electives in the specialisation. We have analytic methods for logistics and spatial analytics, and both of these sort of concern analysing data to make informed business decisions. So these are particularly useful if you want to have planning types of roles. So that could be sales and operations planning, supply chain planning roles, and so on. And then finally, we have a capstone unit where you consolidate your learning and demonstrate your understanding, and you do so via an authentic scenario-based global logistics problem which you work on in that capstone unit. So that's all from me, and I'll hand over to Stefan.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Hello, everybody, and I'm going to present. My name is Stefan Majzik, as I said, and I will be presenting to you a new specialization which is just launched this year, which is the Strategy, Innovation, and Management specialization. And it has come about as a reaction to a number of changes which have happened over the past years in the workplace. And so when we look at classical large consultancies, for example, their way of hiring has become much broader. Originally, maybe they would have looked mostly for accountants or for finance-trained people. More recently, they have come a place also for psychologists, for people with managerial skills, for people we know who know something about innovation, for strategy making. And as a response to that, we have planned, designed, and developed this specialization with an eye to the future of work. Now, in order to do so, we have pulled together 3 different disciplines of the University of Sydney Business School. the international business area, the work and organization studies area, and my discipline, which is strategy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And so it is colleagues from these three different disciplines which will be delivering the unit. And as such, it also offers a nice variety of units throughout. But what brings all of this together? What ties it together? And I think I can describe that very, very simply in 7 points. The first one is a deep concern and focus on innovation. But innovation itself is not a function. It needs to be guided by strategy making. And so we are weaving the concern with innovation, which we can see across the technological sector, across government sectors, across non-profit sectors, the corporate sector broadly, together with strategy making and organizing processes and management. And to lead this forward, we provide best practice management. We, in order to address wicked challenges of our time, challenges that no organization can address individually and which mark the discourses of society at the moment. And with that comes a concern to improve social environmental sustainability, which is also part of this specialization. That requires a global perspective and also a long-term perspective. So this is just a very close summary of how these three disciplines have come together around the concern of innovation, strategy, and the management of future businesses. Now, the structure is very similar than the other two that you've heard. It starts with a foundation unit, which brings you in contact with the core concepts, but it also works as a way of creating a cohort feel. You meet all the other students, which may afterwards go into electives or selectives, as we call them. But at that point, you can you can form study groups. You get to know who else is interested, what kind of different people come together. We're looking for diversity here. And it also ends with a work integrated, work-oriented project in the capstone. Between that, there's essentially three lines of delivery. One is international business, where you can learn about alliances, emerging markets, and strategy. The other one is work and organization studies, where you learn about managing and leading. So leadership is part of that. And then there's this third stream on strategy, innovation, entrepreneurship, where you can learn about negotiation, consulting, sustainability, and innovation processes and management. Now, it is entirely up to you when you're taking the specialization if you follow one of these streams. So you say I'm particularly interested in international business, or I'm particularly interested in leadership and management, or strategy and innovation is really what I would like to learn, or if you mix and match in a way that fits best to your career parts. And by that I come to briefly describe so what kind of career path are open after doing the specialization. And I think best to describe this a business analyst, consultant, or managers here, project management, event management, operations, either in social or business enterprises. Now, this was my small presentation of the new specialization of strategy management and strategy, innovation, and management. Thank you. And I give back to Veronica.
Thank you, everyone. That was really insightful. So, as I mentioned before, I'm also studying the global logistics specialization, and I've really found that every single subject I've done, I've learned so much, I've felt so supported, and it's been a really great learning environment. The highlights for me so far have been the industry placement program, where I'm currently working at Transdev. It's a 10-week program, and you really learn a lot by going into an industry and gaining experience that way. I've also really enjoyed the negotiation from sustainable procurement that Andrew was talking about. I learned a lot of communication, verbal and negotiation skills that way, which was really great. We're also joined here by the Master of Commerce Program Director, Teresa Davis, who's just going to answer a couple questions for us. Thanks for joining us, Teresa.
Thanks, Veronica. I'm just going to take off on something Veronica said about the IPP program, the Industry Placement Program, which I think is a really amazing program, which gives students a real-life hands-on experience of what they might be doing in the workplace when they leave and finish the degree. And we are at great pains to place students across the board in all the specializations. So we have some really amazing stories coming back from students, as with Veronica. So I just want to point that one out, and please take a look at the IPP website, which will give you a nice overview of what's available, what the programs are. And also there is another program, there is the Job Smart Edge, which is a particularly award-winning program, and the Job Smart program itself, which allows you to engage with industry at different levels again and prepare yourself basically for going out there and taking on a full-time job. So it's just great to have that kind of hands-on experience, especially in these times. So please take a look at that. I also just wanted to point out that actually the Master of Commerce in its newer form, starting this year, has actually two options. You can take the 1.5-year program, which is the Master of Commerce, and the 2-year program, which is the Master of Commerce Extension. And the reason for the two different options is simply that we are trying to recognize that some people have a business background or have done commerce or business-related disciplines already in the undergraduate degree, in other master's degrees possibly, or have had a whole lot of experience in the space. So we thought it made sense to give them a sort of a expedited program, I guess, or a more advanced program. Whereas with those who don't have a business background or haven't done anything in the area, it made sense to give them a slightly longer program. So that was the purpose of having those two different options. So the 2-year program incorporates a few more introductory courses so that you can build up to the more advanced units. So those are the two questions I thought were really important to answer from the program level. But Veronica, if you have any other questions, it would be great to answer those. Or if there are questions from our audience.
Yeah, we just have
Yeah.
a quick question.
Sure.
How many specializations can you do in the Master of Commerce program?
Well, that's a really good question. I have to say that if you're doing the short version, which is the 1.5 program, you really can only squeeze in one specialization. But it is at the advanced level, so it gets you through the program quickly and gets you into the career you're looking to pivot into or advance into. The 2-year program, however, gives you enough space to do two specializations very easily, or even do something like an exchange program. Of course, international exchange programs are off the table for a bit, but very soon I'm hoping we'll all be up there. And at the present time anyway, the international ones are being run online, so you still can do them. The other thing you can possibly do if you want to do and you're interested in is take a research pathway. So that means a semester of MCOM by research. That really depends on your eligibility. You need to score pretty high marks to get into that part of the program. But it's a really exciting research pathway for those who are interested. So as you can see, there are many, many options. And so it's really a question of which one suits your purposes.
Yeah, thank you for that. Do you need an undergraduate degree in business to get into this program?
Again, a good question, and that goes back to the point I was making about the two options. So if you don't have a background undergraduate degree in business or business-related degree, then you're probably going to be admitted to the 2-year program, which gives you a little more grounding in the foundational ideas before you go on to a specialization or into the core business sort of areas. But otherwise, if you have an undergraduate degree, we usually allow you to get into the 1.5 year program. And for those who may not have an undergraduate degree, but have a lot of experience, business experience, for instance, there are other pathways as well. So I'll highlight the graduate certificate and the graduate diploma programs as well, which give you a pathway into the MCOM if you have that kind of experience. So there are many pathways and opportunities in this.
Yeah, thank you. I'm actually doing the 2-year program myself. I came from an unrelated background. I did a degree in music, and I think it's been a great program to develop my skills coming from a very unrelated background. So I think that's been a really great factor that led me to choose this degree. Just another question here. Is online learning available for students?
Absolutely. Depending on when you are coming into the program, I suppose, because next year we are hoping to have more people, actually here and on the ground, because as most of you do, I'm sure all of us around the table do experience and enjoy face-to-face far more than we do online. But we have pivoted very successfully onto an online or a hybrid model really at this point, where we do online as well as on campus. So we actually have two sort of streams going, what we call remote education and on-campus classroom engagement. So there are two streams, if you will, and you can choose to opt into one or the other for second semester this year as well.
Thank you. Another question. Are there any scholarships for the MCOM program?
Absolutely. There are plenty of scholarships. Do explore our scholarships page. There are scholarships at the university level. There are scholarships for students from different parts of the world, for people with different kinds of backgrounds. And the purpose of these scholarships, as you will have figured by now, is to create a sort of a diversity in terms of people's backgrounds, in terms of people's pathways into the program and so on. And also we have, the business school has a number of scholarships for students as well. So take a look, there are a variety of them, and your eligibility will vary, of course, depending on your background and so on. So take a close look and at the scholarships page, and we will have that link up, I'm sure, somewhere for you to take a look at. So definitely, there are scholarships.
Thank you. So that's all the time we have today. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and thank you to all our panel members. If you have any questions, just register for our postgraduate information evening, which is on the 28th of April. You'll find more information in the link in the comments, and I hope you all have a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you.